Today's episode of Tool Review Tuesday, I think, is going to go pretty smooth. So let's get started. Roll the intro. On today's episode, Tool Review Tuesday, we have the RIDGID 18V quarter sheet sander. So we're gonna test this out for the first time. I'll show you what comes with it. So now that the sun is going down, it's starting to get dark out. Let's go inside the garage and we will put this to the test. Get a close-up look at it with all the specs. All right, check it out. Welcome to my shop again. I am gonna make a few changes in here, so throughout this fall, you might see a couple things move around and maybe another shelf above this one up here. So right now, I'd like to just point out a few specs with this sander and then show you what comes with it. One of the first things to point out is the lifetime warranty, and that's if you register this within so many days. I think it's like within 90 days of the purchase of this. If you see the reviews of this on the Home Depot website, I have a link down below. You'll see this has an awesome rating. It's like 4.5 stars or more, I believe. So I don't think you can go wrong with this. I've seen a lot of great things, people saying how well balanced this is, how less it vibrates compared to some other models that makes their hand numb. And the power of this, it has 3 speeds, people like that. And versus like some have a dial so you can adjust it that way. The 3 speeds seems very adequate. So now I'm gonna put this on my workbench. We're gonna zoom in with my camera. And as I'm doing that, we're gonna take about 30 seconds to see a lot of the close-up features of this. So this is a sander that you get right here. Let me just show you some of the accessories that come with it. This is the paper punch right here, a perforator. So if you cut your sandpaper into quarter sheets, you can perforate it with that, so then the holes will line up and you can collect the dust through the sander. So you have a couple options. You can hook up this dust bag right here. This is a portable way. It has a nice little spring right there. Or you can hook up your wet dry vac with this adapter right there that clamps on there. And this is a 2.5 inch hose adapter. I think I'll probably use the dust bag the most. I like to just keep something like this on the shelf with a battery in it. That way I can just grab it and go. And then speaking of batteries, the battery is not included with this, but I'm using my own 6 amp hour battery right here. So any RIDGID 18V battery will work. Then the thing to point out, this has a 3 speed on it. So like low would be for like some fine paper, maybe some light duty stuff, medium or high. High, medium, low. And I'm sure they recommend you take the battery off when you're installing the sandpaper. So if you can see right here, this is the rear paper clamp. See how that works right there? So we'll open that up. And then these 2 sheets come with it. This is 80 grit right here. All right, so we're gonna start here. So right there, see the 1 button? We're gonna first put that in right there. We wanna make sure that these holes line up, so I'm gonna kind of stretch it across right there. And then this right here, the backing spring, fold that down and over. And it looks like the holes are fairly well lined up. Looks like we're ready to go. I'm not sure my camera will show you at all what the smoothness of this is like. So this is a 1x6, it's some hard maple right here. So it's fairly smooth, but not, you know, exactly smooth. So I don't know if you can see the before and after, but I'm just gonna show you how this works on the different speeds. And then I'll show you after running it for a few minutes, how much dust we get. So right now, this is brand new and it's empty. So let's test this out. So I'm gonna work this section right here for a few minutes on speed number 3. Okay, let's try speed number 2. Okay, we're gonna go to 1 in a second. Yeah, I like that, it's nice and smooth. So now we're gonna turn it on and toggle down to speed number 1. Ooh yeah, feeling good. So after probably a couple minutes, I can definitely see some of the dust around this bag, so I guess it's probably the vibration and the exhaust blowing it around there, but let's just see how much dust after a few minutes has accumulated in here. That's pretty fine dust right there. So now let's put the vacuum adapter on here, and then we'll just see what it looks like if there's any dust clouds around it. So for dust collection, this is a cool portable vacuum right here. This is a RIDGID 9-gallon wet dry vac, battery powered, completely battery powered. It runs off the same battery right here. This is another 6 amp hour octane battery right here, 18 volt. So what I'm gonna do is hook this up here. And then what I've done is I upgraded to this kit right here. This is the auto detailing kit. It's just I really like the hose that comes with it and all the accessories. I definitely do some car cleaning with it, but the hose is really flexible, and this hose right here fits into this without the adapter. But if you use like a regular 2.5 inch hose, then you're gonna wanna go with this. So check this out. You know, I have to say, it blows my mind. This is the very first time that I've ever in my shop been able to do all this work right here under just battery power. Normally I have my wet dry vac plugged into the wall, and if I have something else that I'm running with it, a lot of times it'll trip the breaker, so then I'll have to often plug in a longer extension cord to a different outlet that's on a different circuit, and that way I'm not tripping things. So this right now, under just battery power, is awesome. I'm loving it. So yeah, this setup right here, I think you can't go wrong so far from what I see. I highly recommend it. This is nice and smooth. So if you get the sander, you might want to just take some sandpaper right here and cut it and get it all prepped. So then when you're working, you can just go ahead and grab that quarter sheet and run with it. Here's a paper punch, and it shows a little diagram of which direction it goes. So it looks like you take your sandpaper, just have it over that enough so that you have enough to fold in there, and then just line that up and push it down. I may not have pushed hard enough, still kind of getting used to this. So there you have your perforations in it. That lets the air go through. So you just have to make sure that you line that up properly. There, that's pretty easy. So there's that whole area in the center right there that doesn't have any holes. So the outside holes will collect the dust. All right, so now I'm gonna try this on a low speed, since this is a real fine grade sandpaper right here, and we'll see how much smoother this gets. Speed 1. Oh, that is so smooth. Oh, I don't know, can you see that? It's just beautiful. That is so nice. Let me, all right, I have to give you another close-up look of that. I don't know, you just to feel something that smooth is just amazing. So that's like the rough stuff that I haven't sanded, just so you can get a difference and feel what it's like. So today, as I was thinking about making this video, I was thinking about how many terms there are where smooth is good. Like if you're describing if you're describing a drink, if you just say it's smooth, you can't go wrong. If you don't know anything about taste testing, say it's smooth, and I think you'll look like you know what you're talking about. Some of the other things, if you start thinking about smooth sailing, smooth as silk, smooth talker. So if you can think of something else, put it down below. You know, I can't think of any negative term that has the word smooth in it. So this is definitely going to make you happy if you're looking at getting a sander that does a nice job. So now I just want to take a quick minute to point out some of the features of this brushless motor on here. So let's take a look at the box. So this Octane tool utilizes a high-performance brushless motor which delivers 14,000 OPM. So then it has state-of-the-art Octane electronics which are designed to maximize power from the Octane batteries. And then it has adaptive intelligence where the Octane electronics are designed to deliver the maximum power to the Octane tools. And the air guard technology collects up to 90% of the dust, which is pretty amazing. So this rigid sander right here is something I've only had a chance to use for a short time. On my Instagram, I sent a poll and asked what one would you prefer, like a round 5-inch or the quarter sheet sander. So I was getting some mixed things. I would say the round is probably a little more of a popular thing, but there's a lot of people that, especially like cabinet makers, they like this square design so you can get up into the corners with that, where you can't get in the corners with this right here. So there's definitely some advantages to having a quarter sheet square sander like this. Overall, I was really happy with the performance of this. And then the power right there, it doesn't like vibrate to your arm and like make your hand numb. So that was something that I like. And it did a nice job of extracting the dust. So I'd say, you know, it's pretty easy to change these. It's not quite as easy as this one right here, but for a quarter sheet sander, it held in place like I wanted it to. It collected dust, so there you go. So my goal of this video is to help you guys out. So if you're considering the purchase of this RIDGID OCTANE brushless 18-volt quarter sheet sander, so hopefully I put this through the test so you can see if this is right for you. So if you find this video interesting, informative, and helpful, please give it a thumbs up and help support my channel. That's it, friends. Thanks for watching. See you next time.